What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got some more fun stuff to do on the FJ40 today. We're working our way towards firing this thing up, and we got some stuff today that will kind of get us in that general direction. Before we start with what we're doing, you guys, if you guys saw the last video, we were having issues with the wipers. We went through and wired everything, and when we turn our wipers on low speed, we're blowing a fuse. High speed, they'll work. Low speed blows a fuse. So I'm thinking something in the actual motor is shorting out, because it's just everything. I've checked everything else. All the wiring up to the motor's fine. The switch is fine. I've tested the switch, so it's got to be something in that motor. So I'm going to pull that out real quick before we get started. I know obviously we don't need that to run, but it's been bugging me, and while the topic is like fresh in my head, I want to tackle it, figure that out, and then we can move on to what we're doing. Well, I may have found the problem. Something very extremely strange. So everything in here looks perfectly fine. I found this website. Some guy did a write-up on, I don't even know what website this is. It's called Wiper Wiring Science. I don't even know, it doesn't even show the website, but look at this connector here. This is a connector I actually cut out, but judging by what he is saying, there's two wires that are actually reversed. There's black or blue and white, blue and black, and they're swapped. They don't line up. The white goes to the black and the black goes to the white here. I cut that connector off and I put a new connector on because it was all busted apart. I think that might be our problem. We just need to swap the white and the black wires around on one side. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna clean this all up in here. It's a little dirty. I'm gonna clean it up, and then we're gonna just follow this and swap those wires. That makes no sense. It seriously does not make any sense why they have the same color wires, but then just swap them at the motor here. All right, we're back in, and let's see what it does. Hopefully that will fix it. So we are off right now. I don't have the wiper arms on, but we should still be able to see the motor move. Let's turn. Oh yeah, it's working on low. Let's get it on high. Yep. Sweet, that was the issue. Well, thank you to whoever made that post on whatever website that was. I would have never guessed that in a million years that the wires were pinned differently in that connector. All the colors were the same, so I hooked up blue white to blue white and blue black to blue black. But from the factory, for some odd reason, they went blue white to blue black and blue black to blue white, which super strange. Like I said, I would have probably bought a new motor, redid all the wiring 10 times, and it still wouldn't have worked if I didn't see that post. So whoever made that post, thank you. Now we can get this thing back together and start out some other stuff. Well, that's not gonna work. I thought this was 4-inch. It's actually like 3 3/4. So I gotta send back this 4-inch 90, and I found a 3 3/4 to 4-inch. And then we got this 4-inch over here, which we got a reducer back to 3 3/4. I couldn't find any 3 3/4 tube actually. So 3 3/4 to the mass air, and then a filter on the end of that. But obviously I'm not going to start right now, so once we get in our new 90, we'll tackle that. Now I guess what we could do is exhaust. Yes, more exhaust. I'm so excited for this. So what I'm planning on doing is putting this flex joint between the two cylinders. It's actually, a lot of people recommend that because with everything expanding and contracting with heat, it's probably a good idea to have that anyway. So that's going to solve our issue with our misalignments once and for all. And then, yes, I'm doing some oval. So I got these. I'm still waiting for the actual pipe. I should, hopefully we'll have it today, but this is just the adapters to go from round 3-inch to oval 3-inch. But where it goes, you can actually see it a lot better in here. Where it goes right here, you can see right there, you can see how close, get all this out of the way, you can see how close it really is to the body there. So what I'm planning on doing is going from the joint there, from the V-band, I'm going to go oval all the way out, and I'm going to move my flex joint out here, but like a 2-foot section of oval in there. I think that'll really help save me a lot of space. It's not touching right now, but it's so close, I just don't trust it. So I guess what we can do now is just do the header or the crossover pipe. We'll get that flex joint installed. Once we get in our oval tube, then we'll tackle that. Well, I never thought I'd be able to say this, but I am finally happy with this exhaust. We got this all installed and it's finally got enough clearance. It's not a lot, again, but I think it's gonna be enough. So here it is. We didn't change much back here. We just added the flex right there. And then you can see we probably have a 1/2 inch to that third upper link bracket there. Actually, probably maybe even 3/4 of an inch. Before we had like an 1/8. And then up top, you can kind of see it. through here. If I zoom way in up there, you can see we got about the same 3/4 to a 1/2 inch. I still may do some sort of like heat barrier along, so I do have the transmission heat shield here. I did find that, so I have that, but along the top here, along the floor of the actual cab, I kind of want to do some sort of heat barrier. Well, go comment down below if you guys have any experience with like that. It's like a rigid heat barrier board. It's not like the tape on stuff. Obviously with this bottom of this floor being Raptor lined, nothing adhesive is really gonna stick. So I'm gonna have to do like a rigid board that we kind of screw on or bolt on or somehow fasten it to the floor. But if you guys have any experience with any of that stuff, go comment down below. What would you do on this? We got about a 1/2 inch clearance. I think it's gonna be okay, but I'd rather do it right, and I'd rather do like some sort of heat barrier, either that or we can wrap the exhaust. So that might be a good option. But like I said, if you guys have experience with any of those products, go comment down below. Well, next on the list, we're going to tackle some radiator hoses. What I really just need is a few 90s, but I just bought a few different styles, and I got this adapter here. The top hose on the radiator is 1.5 inches. On the water pump, it's 1.25 inches. So we got this adapter here, and I'm going to use this port here for the bleeders. There's actually the bleeders on the head that come up to the throttle body. You're supposed to tap that into here. You can tap it in your water pump. Since we're doing this and it's right close to that throttle body, I'm just going to use that. So before we do that though, we got something else to tackle. So when I remounted my radiator to the actual core support here, we need to cut off the brackets. There's a bracket right there and a bracket right there. Usually, I mean, it wouldn't really matter much, except you can see here, to open the bottom, the petcock or the valve there, that mounts in the way. So we don't need these mounts. What I'm going to do, we're going to pull the radiator out, chop those mounts off once and for all, since we're not going to need them. I just keep forgetting it. I keep spacing it out. So let's do that real quick. Then we'll get everything back installed and work on some radiator hoses. Well guys, this ain't gonna work. We got our coupler, our 90 in. It's supposed to be 4 inch to 3 3/4. This thing's 3 3/4 on both sides. So it goes on the throttle body, but it does not go on this 4-inch tube. So I ordered another one. Amazon was all sold out, so I'm not gonna have it in a timely manner. It said like next week. So I gotta get this video out. Unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to do the intake in this one, but we got a ton of other stuff done. This thing is coming together quick. Well anyways guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I really hope you enjoyed it. Why don't you go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.